Hello, YNAB'ers. My name is Jesse Meekum, and this is podcast number 449 for YNAB, where we teach you 4 rules to help you stop living paycheck to paycheck, get out of debt, and save more money. Today, I want to talk about what it might look like if you used a little bit of a tactic in the software. I don't talk about the software per se very often, but I wanted to give you a little tip today. A lot of times when people are following, YNAB'ers specifically, are following Rule 2, they're embracing their true expenses. It means that they're looking ahead and they're trying to find those larger, less frequent expenses, and then they're breaking them up into manageable monthly amounts. So Christmas, if you're going to spend $1,200 a year, easy math, or $1,200 per holiday for Christmas, $1,200 for Christmas, you would take the $1,200, you would divide it by 12, and then you would give yourself a $100 monthly bill. You could do the same thing for an HVAC repair. You could do the same thing for your Bosch dryer, not recommended, and replace that thing. So you're always looking ahead to those larger amounts, and then you're saying, okay, what would I need to save or set aside? These are traditionally called sinking funds, and you put them right into YNAB, and it's your category where you build up that money over time. Clear. What a lot of the time, traditional advice would be you have an emergency fund, and that also makes good sense, right? We're living in a bit of an emergency year. So you would say, well, I'm going to have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved for an emergency. What happens is you have YNAB'ers that don't have emergencies anymore. And the reason is because they're following Rule 2. They're looking ahead and they're thinking about those expenses that will come up. They're true expenses, and they are embracing them with love, affection, and money, because you need that third thing more than any other. So when you are not having emergencies anymore, do you still need an emergency fund? You may call that fund now something like something that really, really caught us off guard that we did not see coming, and the next time we'll see coming. So that's a little bit of a long category name, but the idea is something happens and it really does catch you off guard, and it wasn't part of your Rule 2 true expenses. You don't have a sinking fund set up for it. That's when you could use an emergency fund. What I want you to do in the software is never spend directly from that blanket kind of Grobe emergency fund category. Instead, I want you to make sure that you're always moving money to where that money actually will be used. So if you didn't foresee the HVAC going out, how I do not know, but you don't foresee that. And it's not covered under warranty. So you're going to have to get rid of actual cash. You could set up a category called home appliances repair, something like that, or more specifically HVAC. I don't think it should be that specific, but home appliances maintenance and repair. And then you would move the money from your emergency fund, that little pile of money you use for things that you didn't actually budget for, and you would move the money to the home appliance repair category. And then you would spend that unfortunate large dollar amount from that category. Why? This is what gives you data for going forward, so you will not be caught on your heels again. So you never spend directly, if you have an emergency fund category in YNAB, because you've just got cash set aside. I don't know what'll happen. This is truly for emergencies, not because my car tires wore out. That's not an emergency. That happens. But you have an actual emergency that takes emergency money. You would then move it to a category for the actual spending. So then you have the historical data to point back to and say, oh, next time, that will not catch us off guard. Until next time, follow YNAB's 4 rules and you will win financially. You've never budgeted like this.